Hello, my friends. Welcome to a wonderful Wednesday. We are going to continue learning about the sun and the moon and the stars. And yesterday, you heard the first read aloud of Papa, please get the moon for me. And yesterday, you wrote about the main characters in the book and you wrote about where the setting was in the book. Today, we're going to talk more about the book, Papa, Please Get the Moon. And we're going to do a workbook page 41 in our student workbook. And I'm going to talk to you about what work we're going to do today. And we're going to talk more about our story, Papa, Please Get the Moon for me. So, our learning target, our learning focus target, I can retell major events from Papa, Please Get the Moon for me. Events are things that happen that are very important in the story. So that's what the word event means. And then I can describe the central message of Papa, Please Get the Moon. The central message means, what was that story about? What kind of message do you think that story wanted to tell us? What was it telling us and reminding us to do? So let's see. So I've already talked this week about this thing, story elements. When you take a story apart and you tell the story to someone else, you break it apart in its elements. And these are the elements: the characters, the setting or where it took place, and then the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Now, this story element board is about our book, Papa, Please Get the Moon. And yesterday, like I said, you wrote about the characters and the setting. So this is kind of a check to see if you are right. So the characters in our book are Monica, the little girl. Papa, we don't learn his name. She just calls him Papa. And the moon. The moon is actually a character in the book. Even though the moon might not say anything, Monica does something with the moon, and the moon interacts with the other two characters, which means he does stuff with the other two characters, okay? And then the setting or where the story took place was outside at night. I know some of you might have said it's Monica's house. True, it is Monica's house. So you could have said Monica's house at night. That could be where it happened as well, but make sure it's at night because the setting doesn't just include where, it includes when. And it did not happen in the daytime, and we know that because the moon is one of the characters. What you're going to write about today is the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, and the end of the book. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. These are some more words that we will add to our word wall. And I don't think I've updated our sun, moon, and stars words, but I'm going to try to do it by today, by Wednesday. And so let's see some of the new words that we've learned. The first word is a full moon. Now, the moon does these things called phases, and phases is spelled Phases. One of the phases in the moon is a full moon. When the moon is very big and all full, it is called the full moon. That's one of our new words. Then the moon, after it's the full moon, becomes a half moon. You'll look up in the sky and you'll just see half of it, okay? So 2 new words for our word wall, full moon and half moon. Now we're going to talk about Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me. That's the cover of the book. And here's one more word for our moon words for this week, and that's sliver. The sliver of the moon is what happens in the book when Papa brings Monica the moon starts to get smaller and smaller until it's just a sliver of the moon. The part of the moon that happens before the sliver is called a crescent moon. So here we are again with the story elements of Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me. We know the characters are Monica and Papa and the moon. We know it happened outside at night at Monica's house. And so in the beginning, and this is what you're going to do today on page 41, in the beginning, here's a couple of pictures for just suggestions. Now you can draw some different pictures of what you think happened in the beginning as well, but these are just some simple pictures of what happened in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, Monica was looking out her window and she saw the moon outside of her window and she wanted to reach the moon. And no matter how much she stretched, she still couldn't reach it. So that's how the story begins. In the middle, Papa, her father, gets a long ladder and he puts it on top of a tall mountain. Now, here, they don't show you the mountain, but I would like you to draw. That's what happens in the middle of the story. Papa puts the long ladder on top of the mountain to do what? To get to the moon, right? And then in the end, the moon is full. In the end, the moon is full. Now, I know some of you might think that the middle is where Papa brings the moon back to Monica. But remember, that's not a major event in the story. That's not something very important that happened. The important part is that how did Papa get to the moon? That's the major event in the story. And the ending, remember, Monica plays with the moon so much that it goes down to nothing. And so she's like, oh, she's very worried. So she tosses it outside and poof, it shows up again later in a few days and it's the full moon again. All right. So this is what your page looks like. It looks just like this. In the beginning, what happens? And we just talked about it. In the middle of the story, what happens? Draw a picture. Remember, write with your neatest handwriting. Only use lowercase letters. You don't even need to write a capital because they start the sentence for you. This part says, in the beginning, what happened? And put a period. In the middle, what happened? In just a few words. Remember to use your finger spaces. At the end, what happened in the story? And draw a picture. Your pictures don't have to have a lot of details. If you want to do very simple pictures like we just saw on those slides, you can do those as well. And then these are just the new vocabulary words: full moon, half moon, and sliver moon. All right? I will see you in a little while. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I hope you enjoy drawing and writing about our new book. Goodbye, friends.